when we created our app and inspect the pages directory, we found that the _app file was available. However, we didn't pay too much attention to it, and now it's a time for us to dive into it. So if you open the file, you see that we have a React component which accepts two properties. Those properties are the components and the page props, and we make a default export of the component. So the _app file is used mainly to share functionality between the pages, and for that reason the component would be the page that we navigate, and the page props the properties that we want to pass within that page. And as you see, we invoke the component and we pass the properties down to it. A common example for us to use in terms of pushing logic into the _app is when you have a layout component. So usually when you want to create a layout for your page, it will include a header at the top, the content of the page, and at the bottom the footer. So that logic can become available into the _app. So to demonstrate it, I will create a layout component, and that component will be a div. So at the top we're gonna have the header, and at the bottom we're gonna have the footer. At the middle I want to set my page, and that would be a React functional component. The type would be a React element. And I want to access that children. So we see that at the top we have the header, in the middle we pass the content of the page, and here we have the footer. So what we want to do is to wrap our component within the layout. So in that case it would be, and copy the component down here, and as you see, we get the at the top we get the header, at the bottom we get the footer. I will apply some style to make it more obvious. Let's say black, color white, and we'll include some padding, and I will copy the same style object down to the footer. So as you see, at the top the header, at the bottom the footer. If we navigate into another page, let's say the post page, we see that we get the same structure in our page. So the layout component persists. However, the page, which is the component, change, and we pass the props down to it. So we can also pass a property down to a certain component. So let's say that we want to set text, and here is some text, right? So that will be available, that property will be available to all the component. So if I go into the index page and extract the properties, or actually I know that I will have the text over there and console log. So I'm just gonna pass text string here, and if I inspect my page, and I will fix my dev tools. So if I go back into home, we see that I get text, and that's because I passed that property down from the _app. So I will clean up what we have done, since I don't want to keep it. And to sum up, use the _page app if you want to keep state persistent between your application, or if you want to apply some shared logic within your components. And we demonstrated how we can do this one using the layout component, but if you want an example related with state, that would be when the user logins into our application. So usually the workflow is the user loads our page, then it needs to go into one of our sign-in pages and set his password, set his email and his passwords, try to log in, and the app will redirect him into one of our pages. So if that redirect will be in the home page, let's say, the home page needs to have that state of his authentication status, and that logic can be pushed into the underscore app. So that's it for this tutorial. The next tutorial will be related to the document page. Thank you.